Hi, everybody. It is Nick from Booster, and we are continuing the Key Quick Conversation series, asking advertising and marketing leaders what they believe the key is to great creativity. And I'm here with Ian. Ian and I actually used to work together many moons ago, back in still WPP, or WPP now, but on the Land Rover business, wasn't it?
That was it, yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Many
moons ago. But Ian, if you could, introduce yourself and tell us what you believe the key is.
Great. Well, hey, everyone. My name is Ian Gough, and I'm part of WPP, as Nick said, and I actually am now part of the OpenX family, so the bespoke agency solution that WPP built for Coca-Cola clients. So I'm part of the leadership team there. I'm responsible principally for a couple of brands, Sprite and Fanta. The key to great creativity, it's a great question, isn't it? And I'm trying to be novel in my answer because I think that's what creativity is about. But when I try to distill it down to, I think, the things that I think breed great creativity, it really came down to me to three things. Firstly, it's great insight. We can't get away from that. It's obviously great talent. And I think probably, arguably most importantly, is great clients, because without them, we're just a bunch of people making PowerPoint slides, which is a guilty pleasure of mine, but we have to have great clients to help us put that work into market. So if I take those one at a time.
Yeah, great.
I think insight, I think, is important. Obviously, creativity is an amazing tool to look at problems through a different perspective. And I've been in workshops with our brilliant creative teams and just teams in general. And our ability as an agency and as networks to produce ideas is, it's a scary amount of ideas that can be generated through workshops. But often those ideas, great for building chemistry, but those ideas don't often see the light of day. I think for great ideas on great creativity to really thrive, I think we need super precise strategy, because without those constraints, like a big idea could be just nebulous. And how do we really manage that through the diverse sets of stakeholders and feedback? And how do we really make sure that great creativity is solving business problems? So for me, the biggest ideas that we create as an agency network come from the tightest briefs with the best audience insight, the best tension, and the best linkage to the business problem. And if you don't have that, creativity is easy to produce, but it's not the right creativity, and it's the sort of creativity that will only ever exist in PowerPoint. So I think that the tightness of a brief, I think we cannot get away from.
Yeah, fantastic. And the insights, something you mentioned before, was around the ability to get those insights now in new novel ways that you're experiencing.
Yeah, this is one of the places where I have a strong affinity to AI, actually, and it's clearly disrupting our industry. And I'm not a futurist, so who knows where it's going to go. But if I think about the volume of data that we have, and that the data is obviously the place that the insights are derived. We're fortunate to work with Coca-Cola, who have a huge amount of business intelligence and consumer intelligence. When you overlay that with the intelligence that the agency network has, both in terms of future trend prediction, behavioral understanding of audiences, real-time media data, there's an overwhelming amount of data, right? But the AI tools are now helping us democratize that in a way that we can query that data to get immediate feedback. So I'll give you two examples to me that I think have become very powerful. So WPP has a platform and a study called BAV, Brand Asset Valuator. It's one of the biggest longitudinal brand studies in the world. Yeah. It's a really powerful resource. And in my previous growth role, I would work with our BAV team to try and get some insights for brands. And they would surface that through a couple of things. One, we'd have some pre-built dashboards. Those dashboards are great, but limited in scope. Or you'd work with an analyst. And honestly, as soon as I've got to work with an analyst, that means me being organized, booking people in. That's just where I would drop off. But now that BAV data is queryable to everybody in WPP. It's in my pocket. So all our strategists can now query data and get insights to test hypothesis and build hypothesis in a way they couldn't before.
And just to really bring that to sort of an execution or a specific example, when you say in your pocket and when you say queryable, that literally means that you've got on your phone an app that you're able to go in, specify what you want to query, but then ask it questions and get immediate feedback, right?
That's it. I'm one of the 70,000 daily active users for WPP Open, and it changes every week what it can do. But just a chat agent in there, I'm not having to go into a specific tool. I just empty my ambition into the chat, and it will bring back the right agents to answer my questions. I mean, we've got a behavioural science agent in there, so I'm a big TikTok fan of Rory Sutherland.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got him in my pocket on TikTok, but now I've got all
in your
that
pocket and in the building.
and in the building, but also I've got behavioural science. From people like him, queryable in my
God, that's
WPP
fantastic.
Open. So it's amazingly powerful. Listen, it's not the only source of insight. I think what's really requires is the next thing, I guess, which is great talent.
Yeah.
And it's having the right people sat around these tools and these opinions to be able to filter through what we can identify, what we can find empirically through data, but also, I guess, where intuition comes in. Because I think great talent and great creativity really requires a diverse set of people to be working together. Like creative for us, yes, we have creative teams, but creative truly can come from anywhere. So the best projects that I think we deliver are diverse in their capability and in their backgrounds, by age, by gender, by background, by capability. And I'll give you an example. There was a pitch for English Premier League with Coca-Cola, and the insight from the strategist became a creative idea, but the strategist had the creative idea.
Yeah.
And that creative idea went, hey, listen, I've had a bit of a creative idea here. What do you think? To the creative teams thinking, they go, oh, thank you, but not invented here. They just embraced that.
Fantastic.
And built on it. And that was the pitch winning idea. So I think, creativity does come from anywhere, everywhere.
Nice.
And I think we need systems, we need models, we need ways of working that recognize that it's the collective might of all of our brains that help build on great insight to find great creative solutions.
Yeah, I love it. Great example. Wow. And I think that's it. And that is defined by how people behave in a team, right? That's about collaboration and trust.
Yeah.
If you're able to have that, then if somebody does have an idea, then you embrace it, like you said.
That's it. And knowing where these people exist. So I'll talk firsthand about my OpenX experience. It's been designed legitimately to open up the best of WPP for our clients. Now, the best of WPP is surfaced through people who know the client and work with them day in, day out. That increases your, I guess, awareness and knowledge of the business. But those people can't be on the business. You can't only be those people. So part of my role in OpenX is to know where the great talent exists in sometimes some really random places. So for example, WPP's got a specialist called the Food Group. They consult direct with QSRs and food manufacturers on future trends for food manufacturing. Knowing they exist and pulling those into some of our programs, we're trying to drive association with soft drinks and food has been really important for us to go, actually, hang on, we would have never have known this. So knowing where those specialists exists and having a system that brings them in organically into the process at the right time, I think it is key to great creativity.
Yeah.
And then we have to talk about our clients because often great creativity is uncomfortable. It's difficult. Maybe it's challenging the status quo. Maybe it's asking to do something that hasn't been done before. And without our clients, I think that work doesn't get beyond PowerPoint. And so our clients for us, are completely integrated into the process. Yeah. Again, on OpenX, we don't have our way of working and they don't have their way of working. We have one unified way of working. Now, I'm in meetings, often quite big meetings. We try to keep them small, but people arrive and lots of capabilities come in. Sometimes you'll get a call, and this happened last week, where the client goes, people say to me, "Who was that?" I was like, "Well, actually, that was someone from your team, not our team." And these lines are really blurring for us now. It's about capability. It's about our clients. They bring such a depth of knowledge around their business and brand that, whilst we're close to it, they always have that extra edge. They always know it better than us. Yeah. And they really are experts at helping navigate their systems to help make sure that great creative idea, that spark, that insight can translate all the way through their business. So I have to say thank you to our amazing clients, because ultimately they are the champions of great creativity. And without them, we are just a bunch of people making slides.
Yes, fantastic. And then, so it's that ultimate collaboration between the two.
That's it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it's one team mentality, and I think that's so important. And there's so much change going on right now that we look after each other, we work together, and we all have the same shared ambition for doing and producing amazing creative work and
great outcomes.
Yeah,
amazing. Ian, thank you so much.
Thanks
Absolutely
for listening.
brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.